Wait, what? This guy has 1,000 people watching? I don't believe that. I don't believe this. Nobody special. How? Look at this guy. My YouTube doesn't even work.
Money, by the way, that was borrowed against those GPUs. Oh my God, the circular accounting here is so awful. Tell me it's NVIDIA without telling me it's NVIDIA. It's just NVIDIA backstopping their own sales. And Michael and Trader holds this up like, look, our clients love our...
I kind of like the Solano short in some ways because they have no IP. You got 7 and out. You have 6.5 years left to make money. That's the orphan drug business model. You have 6 years, 7 years from FDA approval. 30K to 1 million challenge. We're a quarter of the way there. Let me check the PAT for my short term. Probability up 55%. Okay. Probability up 50-50. Quantum in general is starting to really tank. Quantum's getting hammered here. I was thinking of buying a Bored Ape yesterday for my Discord. Yeah, I'm so tired. I was at work until 11:30 p.m. So yeah, if I'm ever not on YouTube and you want to catch me, I'm usually streaming on Discord after. No, we got to buy an ape, okay? We're buying an ape, and we're going to name it, okay? And all my apes are gone. I was looking at OpenSea, and they actually still have traffic, which is like shocking to me. Which ape are we buying? And then we're going to name it, okay? We're going to name it like Steve or something, and it'd be like, oh, Steve is doing well. Oh, yeah. Alejandro, there you go. You know, Alejandro's my ape. And then we're going to send it to a burn address, which means we're going to kill it. That's how you kill an ape. We burn it. You burned it. Send it to the burn address. The Bored Ape people will be like, you burned an ape? Why? No, we didn't burn it. We killed it. Now nobody can have it. Which one do you guys want? Ooh, that one looks elite. Still worth 20,000, but you know, that's just whatever. $20,000. Which one? You want the party hat? You want the 3D glasses Bored Ape? Some idiot paid $1 million for these at some point, right? Can we sort price high to low? Oh, look at that. This guy's trying to sell it for 1,000 ETH. What is that? That's a really good one. Wow. Look how cool it is. What is Ethereum worth? Remember when Bieber had them? ETH is 3,500. So 1,000 ETH is 3.5 million. Cheap. What a deal. First, I got to buy the fake currency. Then I can... Oh, wow. That's an elite one, too. Look at that. Wow. Oh, laser eyes. Laser eyes. That's one of the... I don't have any laser eyes. That's only 250 ETH. 250 times 3,500, 875K. That's not bad. Really. It's kind of not bad. Right click and copy. But then it's not on the blockchain. You don't actually own it. This is 350K. This is elite. This is rare. Okay. Blindfold. Only 263 apes are blindfolded. Cream fur. Blindfolded ape going for 100 ETH. Do I hear 50 ETH? Do I hear $200,000? Do I hear price? This is a exclusive elite ape. When you're picking a stock and you're an ape like me, you're blindfolded. You're just picking at random. So that makes sense. Owned by Randy Greenstein. This guy's got to be cool. He's got $55,000 of NFTs. That probably at one point were millions of dollars of NFTs. But you know, it's okay, Randy. It'll come back. Some of these cheap apes, only 100 ETH, 300 grand. Oh, wow. This one really speaks to me. Like, I really feel like I'm this guy. This is super rare combinations of super rare attributes. Who else? Which one else is like you? Oh, this one's kind of crazy. He's a zombie ape. Okay. Whoa, this one's elite. He's got grills, a bucket hat, fisherman's hat. Jesus ape? Is this 100 grand? What do you think? They stole my apes. All my apes are gone. What's the, that's 6 ETH, 22K floor price, 10,000. So it's $220 million of apes still out there. That's like a good small cap short. I got hacked and all my apes are gone. Let's see if I can buy Coreweave with margin. Let's see. 1,000. Nope. It's too risky, apparently. You can only buy normie stocks on margin. Coreweave is not real. That's really interesting, QW. I like Biohaven. This is sort of my master list that I work on stocks on just as often as I can. You know, I don't get to work on stocks as much as I'd like to. You know, in some ways I'd love to be a hedge fund manager. In some ways I'd love to be a developer. In some ways I'd love to be a CEO. Sometimes I want to be a social media guy. Sometimes I want to be a dad. There's too much great things to do out there. I don't follow Chanos, you know. I don't think he's that great. He's been short Tesla, which has been a disaster. I don't think he knows how to evaluate management. I think he is good at being skeptical and kind of like, you know, cynical. But cynical people are annoying, first thing. Second thing is, you know, there's just, you know, there's more to life than short selling. You know, it's just part of making what makes a good investor, a great investor, I would say, is being able to detect if a company's a dog. You also got to be able to detect if a company's a big winner. And I don't think and especially if you want to be a good short, you really do have to know how to be a good long. And I just think he sucks at that. And that's why he's a mediocre short seller, quite frankly. Who likes him, doesn't like him, is his friend, is his aunt, cousin, uncle? I mean, I'm sure he's a lovely guy. You know, I don't have anything to say about him personally. There's any personal attack. But that's just my 2 cents. Vertex 18 times. But quite frankly, it's kind of this short-lived franchise. You know, pharma is one of this just tough industry where you have to constantly reinvent yourself. And Vertex has a lot of market cap to reinvent. That's a lot of market cap. 10% growth. Yeah, but in 4 or 5 years, I don't know. I don't see the upside for Vertex unless 𝗠𝗏𝗡𝗧 takes off. Or who's the best short seller? There's a lot of guys on Wall Street that nobody knows about, and it's not my job to out them or discuss them. They promised me. I promised them secrecy. That's why they trust me. I'll never reveal your name. Death before dishonor. What happened with BYND or like BioX? No, I don't think so, ABAB. There was a guy. What happened on BioX? There's a guy that tried to ran somebody over with a car or something like that. Let's looking for a stock. Oh, here. Okay, here it is. Who is the? Yeah, what happened with this drama? Anybody know? Gene and oh no, who outed him? This guy? Gene. Oh my God, no way. I wasn't following him. No. Oh no. I don't feel bad for him. I mean, I guess I don't feel bad for him. I don't know. I always had positive interactions with him, but I don't know the case either. He got arrested on 5 felony accounts. He was active, good with the kids. Yeah, unfortunately, a little too good with the kids. Popular and friendly. He was really nice, a high school student. Nothing wrong with him, just like any other teacher. Basketball coach. Now that article is not excusing. That article is like, this makes me sick. I put an ad out for an executive assistant. An executive assistant is an executive assistant. You get coffee. You set up meetings. I don't know, what else do you do? Yeah, work the phones, email. I'm not allowed to say
Top news alert, U.S. House returns to Washington for vote to end government shutdown.
I'm not allowed to say that only women can apply. So I'm not going to say that because that would be wrong. I have a bodyguard. And nobody wants a male executive assistant. Keep it real with you. Yeah, I don't know. CAPR should raise, but if they raise right before a fail, I don't know. Okay, maybe Sam Altman wants it, you know? So I had Martha Stewart's assistant was my assistant after Martha. And she was a little too intense. I want my assistant to be kind of laid back, like on point, but not like really aggressive. Like she was like, Martha's every 15 minutes of her day is planned. I need free time, not that kind of, your job is to get stuff off of my calendar, not onto it, ideally. I had a Long Island EA once. She wasn't too loyal, I'll say that. So none of these options really provide a return at all for the Decembers. It's really brutal unless you expect the stock to like go to $1, but maybe Maybe I'm doing this wrong, actually. Hold on a second. Oh, I think I'm doing this wrong. I'm doing this wrong. Okay, yeah. I was keying it off this cell, which obviously, okay. That's not bad. If it goes below $1, some of these pay you okay. Go to $1.31 for some of these to make sense. Dollar puts. Don't think the dollar puts will be worth anything, but the 2.5s could be a double, but I don't know if it'll trade to 130. That'd have to be a clean, they give up, it's over, no more CAPR. We're disappointed, we're going to do something else type of verbiage, which, you know, there's not really any reason to think that's how they're going to play it. Oh, I should make these bubbles market cap sized by market cap. Do you think that'd be fun? So it'd be like the NVIDIA Nebula, the galaxies are, you know, very elite. That'd be fun. Don't you think? Okay, so I need more RAM on my machine. That's kind of the obvious here. I just need a new machine, to be honest. Quantum's been coming back in my direction, so explain on the quantum contract, it's not going to any companies, so it's going to our national laboratories like Los Alamos. And I don't know what's going to happen to stocks, man. It's hard to predict sometimes. I wish I knew. Maybe if I ever take some market share from Bloomberg, I can replay it. Palantir, Sarepta, Spruce, Quantum Short, yeah. There's like more quantum stocks now, so I had a little bit of Biohaven. I have a new oncology stock. Easy money stacks. I think Sam's a major player. Country-specific prices for Godel. Yeah, I guess we can do that. That are not dollars. That's a good idea. Thank you. Sam gets a bad rap, man. So many people are jealous of him. I mean, the guy's 40 and he's built one of the biggest companies of all time. It's easy to hate. You know, it costs you nothing to salute. Just salute. You know, what people do in their personal time is not my... I'm not a gossip. I don't think the AI revenue loop is anywhere near the concern that, you know, people are giving it. That's just, to me, silly. Michael Burry positions, and we fade Michael Burry here. And I also do this thing sometimes called trading, where I don't just hold stock. Sometimes I get in and out. Then I had a thing called ATYR. Little situation with a guy named Country Dumb. I don't only have one or two stocks. That's why people are here. So maybe they could figure out and learn something. You know, so I mean, I've also been getting lucky. I'll be the first to admit that. Of course I own Jordans. Come on, man. Come on, man. You know me, Tyrone. It's me, Tyrone. Yeah, ATYR, INMB. So many success stories. We have more coming up. The CAPR is capping, for example. Yeah, I bought a lot of Sarepta this morning and late last night, so it had a nice recovery. On Godel, you can pull up the intraday chart. It's GIP. I'll show you in just 2 seconds. Sarepta, GIP. I don't know if you could see this. Yeah, well, I mean, it wasn't much of a recovery, to be fair. Like, I woke up early and bought around here, so that was nice. After the close, hey, I bought a little bit here, and they got, you know, they explained the guidance, and I bought a lot, I'll say that. And then I sold like most of it here and here. It wasn't some huge profit or anything, but I got to sell at a 17 handle, some at a 16.5 handle. I was pretty active up until the close, sort of buying it. I guess like 15. I basically bought it 15 to 16 and sold at 16 to 17. It wasn't some huge profit, but it certainly wasn't a loss. Sarepta's been very weird for me. My lifetime gain on Sarepta, here, I'll show you. Because there's a lot of, there's some haters that try to use my PII, personally identifiable information. Okay, where are we here? What is 925.95? Let's start with that. That first column is P&L open. Next column is P&L percentage. I don't know what that means, honestly. Is that P&L, I'm down? I'm down 3%? Is that? Well, let me see what it says my average is. That says my average is 1657. So that sounds about right. Here's the position. This is like the amount or buying power or something. Actually, let me see what my P&L on IonQ is here on this account. It's actually very positive. I don't know if I can make 1,500 models. Yeah, D-Wave still... I've actually lost as much money as I've gained in D-Wave versus IonQ almost exactly. I don't have any excitement for any Alzheimer's drugs. Yeah, Biohaven's pipeline does make it very valuable. Yeah, but D-Wave has been my biggest loser. Beyond Meat. I made more money in Beyond Meat than I did in Spruce or IonQ or even ATYR, which is really surprising. But my account was down so much with ATYR. Basically, ATYR saved me. I think I've 10x since ATYR. I was down a lot. I was almost done. They were saying Shkreli's done. They were talking about Shkreli might not survive. One thing I learned about software, okay? In the software business, you have to always be closing, always be selling. You should never, ever, ever work on just the software. You gotta be selling nonstop. Yeah, we have a very, very small ad program that's just like retargeting. So if you've been to our website, you know, we'll show you an ad. I don't know what we spend, maybe a couple grand on ads a month. The longer the equation, so if you have a linear equation with lots of, you know, coefficients, you know, you have a matrix of coefficients. Like, for example, you have some n-dimensional matrix. It's a 2x2 matrix, but if you added, you know, more dimensions, you can make it as infinite dimensional as you want. Thing is, we have ways to process this quickly that there's no quantum speed up. There's no algorithm that actually makes this faster on a quantum computer. So you have to use, there's only a few quantum speedups. There's Shor's, which doesn't really help you because this is a factoring and period finding algorithm. So it's no good. And Shor's is an exponential speedup. Grover's is a quadratic speedup. Well, first of all, quadratic speedup is not very fast. You want an exponential speedup because quantum computers are rather slow. So if you're going to use them, you better get an exponential speedup. So with just a quadratic speedup, you go from n to root of n. You know, for a huge problem, that's not that great because you already are getting much faster clock speed. So if you have, you know, I don't know, let me even be generous here. You have 1 megahertz on the quantum box. Well, your GPU has 2 gigahertz, so it's twice as fast. It's 2,000 times faster, right? But with the root of n, it's still twice as fast, right? 1 million. Well, actually, it's 1 million squared is actually a trillion, right? So it's 500 times faster still quantum. But here's the problem. I have parallel processing. So I have 16,000 cores more than quantum. So this is 500 times faster. True. But I'm still 32 times net faster. And this is a GPU that costs $1,000. Or maybe just round it up, $10,000. So it's easy to program. It also has very fast gate speeds, error correction, things like that. But here's the kicker. You can only use Grovers in very certain cases with very, very, very sparse matrices, which most matrices are not sparse. So Grover's is more of a search algorithm. And all of its progeny are, you know, not, you know, really advantageous to use. So that's kind of that. And that's really there's only really 2 algorithms that anybody knows are fast for quantum. So that's kind of the thing that puzzles me. It's like, I love science, you know, but I if there was a way to do things faster, it'd be great, but I don't see it. You know, maybe there is something that somebody will find later on, which I think that's the hope a lot of people have. Peter Shor said that. Sundar said that. But that's a long time to wait, you know. Photon computers are interesting as well. I think that there's some issues there where photons are not really easy to play with in reality and practical terms. And remember, I'm not a hardware guy. I'm not an electrical engineer. This isn't my thing. I'm a bio guy. But, you know, from what I've heard, photons are not fun to work with. They're kind of clumsy. You need repeaters and things like that. And by the time you actually get the computer to do anything, it's kind of not a great bandwidth and throughput and things like that. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't keep trying. But if you need all this, yeah, it's just a bit of a cumbersome. You know, we've already have this technique with silicon and transistors that work so well that, you know, starting over with DNA, with photons, with quantum you know, any quantum material, maybe call it material, maybe call it quantum effects. It's probably a better way to say it. You know, all of those things are, you know, you're starting at this profound disadvantage. So you need the algorithmic efficiency to be excellent. And you get that with Shor's. And that, to me, is enough of a reason to make a quantum computer. I like Shor's a lot. But I'm also interested in cryptography. I'm interested in code breaking. I'm interested in things that are not necessarily commercially relevant. They may be relevant to me. I might like them, but that doesn't mean, you know, they're big businesses or there's something that's really exciting.